Hey guys, it's Boomin' B here. I'm back from a long break. Sorry I was on vacation and I got pretty busy when I got back, so there's been a lack of content and videos for TapTap. But there was a new update today, so I figured I would spend some time to go over the newest update and mainly the newest hero, Martin. So first thing I like to do when we start reviewing heroes is talk about their stats and where this new hero ranks compared to all the other heroes, just on base stats at 6 star. So Martin ranks at his power, if you look here, with a total of 17,166 power. He ranks at number 17 of all the heroes. And then for health at 75,000, he ranks 11th, which is pretty high for a mage. We're talking about an alliance mage right now. The other equivalents to that are Tesla and Olivia. So two pretty CC heavy utility based Alliance heroes. One thing you'll notice from Alliance is that they usually bring some form of utility to your team. That's kind of like the faction's motto. Anyway, so 11th in health, and then 23rd in attack, which seems pretty low for a mage, but you'll see why that might change. 20th on defense, which 11 is very high. Alliance tends to have some of the highest defense in the game, and he's definitely up there. And then 28th in speed. So let's go ahead and talk about his main skill, the Hand of God. If you're not a soccer fan, or if you haven't noticed, you'll realize that Martin is an Argentinian soccer player, obviously, and he looks very similar to maybe Maradona in that his main skill is called Hand of God, which was a famous goal that Maradona scored when he used his hand instead of his head to hit the ball in, and the ref didn't notice it, so it still counted. Anyway, his active skill deals 94% of his attack to all enemies and deals extra damage 36% of his attack to them for 3 rounds. So similar to like a burn, but it doesn't qualify as a burn or a poison. It's just a damage over time. So the main thing that sticks out to me here is it's an AoE attack. Like everyone is going to get hit. And we have some other heroes that do that, like Reaper and Scarlet and Freya. But their percentages are usually pretty lower than this, right? Around 60%. And then another thing is the deals extra this dot, this 36% of his attack, lasts for 3 rounds. And if you think about it, in 3 rounds, he'll probably cast this skill again, because that's usually how long it takes for a hero to get their energy back, 3 rounds. So this is kind of a permanent dot on the entire enemy team once he casts this. So I think this ability is very strong, but there are some downsides I'll talk about later. Let's move on to his next skill, One-on-One. So this is a passive skill that when an allied hero dies, he increases his own attack by 13% and his skill damage by 12.5%. So this is going to affect his main skill a lot with that skill damage, and as his attack goes up, the percentage is going to make a big difference on his AoE. So you're probably thinking, I already did the math for you, but it's not just the first hero, it's the next hero and the next hero. So every time someone on his team dies, he gains this. So if he's the last one standing, with all 5 of his team members dead, he's doing 65% extra attack and 62.5% extra skill damage. This is really good. That's a huge buff. There aren't very many buffs in the game that give that much. But this is kind of a last-ditch effort, right? He's the only one alive left on your team. He gets all this damage. One thing I realized is he probably pairs really well with Monkey King, because Monkey King technically dies and then is revived. So Martin will still get that buff, I believe, this buff from Monkey King's initial death. Now let's move on to Slide Tackle. So this is kind of the opposite. When an enemy hero dies, it increases Martin's crit rate by 14% and his crit damage by 8%. This one seems kind of out of place because crit isn't really something we see in mages as much as we see in wanderers. But to be fair, mages do get a crit bonus in the guild tech for 25%. So say there's only one hero left, like maybe a really stubborn tank, and you've killed 5 of the other heroes, it caps at 70% crit rate, and 40% crit damage. And with the guild tech, that's 95% uh, crit rate. So he's basically critting from now on. That's pretty cool. All right, now before we move on to the last skill, I do want to point out that they may be different, but this could be good because sometimes a fight is going your way and it's just nice to be able to finish it off. So in this case, slide tackle would be really strong if you're already going to win the fight or you start killing people quickly. And then the other way around, if you start to fall behind and some of your heroes start to die in the middle of a fight, Martin's just going to ramp up and get even stronger. So this is definitely a hero you can't count out as the fight goes on, no matter which way it's going. Uh, but the downside to this is Martin is probably terrible at guild boss and friend boss because those things will never die, and they don't usually do enough damage to kill your own heroes. So these are useless stats for him, or useless skills for him. They won't give him any stat bonuses. Although the dot over time from Hand of God is going to be still good in those fights. But being an AoE damage dealer, it doesn't usually fare that well against those single target fights. All right, let's move on to Ace, his last skill. This is just an increase in three very strong stats. He gets 35% HP, 15% attack, that's another one for attack, and 25% skill damage. That is a lot. This is really what's going to make Hand of God, although it sounds great already, just do an insane amount of damage. This skill damage and attack buff here. And we can assume at 9-star, each one of these is going to go up. So remember, his high armor stat with this much HP, ranking 11th in HP, uh, that's above a lot of tanks. This guy's gonna stay alive. He's meant to stay alive until the end, where he can get all his bonuses off. All right, so that's Martin. I have some final thoughts. I think he's going to be amazing in Legion. He's kind of like that Riley, but a damage version where you leave him in there by himself with like a bunch of like terrible heroes that are going to die. Maybe they're under level, maybe they're level 1, but all you have to do is put Martin in there. All those heroes will die. He'll get the bonuses. He'll use his skill and he'll kill everyone. He'll stay alive long enough with his tankiness to be able to watch the other team burn down. So he's kind of like a one-man army for Legion. Um, and the other thing is, while we haven't seen him yet, I do believe he'll top a lot of damage charts for these 6v6 fights. You know, you have a Den or Arena or Planet. He's going to be great for pushing Planet, by the way. So those things, I would give him probably an A plus rating, pretty close. Maybe not as high as an S, but just very strong. But with the fallback as him not being so great on Guild and Friend Boss, which I think are really cool modes and are really fun, uh, things to try and climb in, then Martin's not going to be so great there. But I'm really happy to see this hero. A lot of people complained about the theme because it's soccer and, you know, biased, but this is Alliance's first like strong AoE. That they finally got like Horde's Scarlet or Undead's Reaper or Luna for Elf. They finally got their AoE damage dealer in Martin. So he's the strong AoE mage for the mainly a utility faction. So I'm happy to see that. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate you guys sticking around to see this video, even though it's been a while. Uh, Leave in the comments what you guys think. I may be way off on this, and if anyone has them, please let me know because I'd love to see what kind of damage he can do. And that's Team TapTap signing off. Peace.